You are listening to the Awakened Radio Network. Visit our website where you can chat with our hosts at awakenedradio.net. If you'd like to listen to us on the go, visit tunein.com. Download their free app and then look for Awakened Radio. You can take us everywhere. Tell all your friends how to listen to the Awakened Radio Network. Awakened Radio is a people-powered radio station. We are occupying the airwaves with the message of personal empowerment, encouraging our listeners to create consciously, to be aware, to be honest, and to heal those areas of our lives that are really starting to bug us. Join our host at awakenedradio.net, where you will find discussions on energy work, meditation, politics, UFOs, aliens, and everything in between. Awakenedradio.net, the people-powered information radio station. Did you know that you can host your own broadcast with the Awakened Radio Network? Join us at awakenedradio.net. Look up at the top where it says Services. Click on Be a Host. Check there for information on how to share your message with our global listening audience. You can also add Awakened Radio to Skype and contact our station manager, or email the station at awakenedradio@gmail.com. Find out how easy, fun, and awesome it is to be part of the Awakened Radio Network family.
Welcome to your Unfolding Senses. I'm your host, Ragozzine, and on this show, we'll be exploring everything intuition. Let's get started. Hello, this is Ragozzine. You're listening to Your Unfolding Senses. That was a great show by Chris. And now it's time for us to delve into our intuitions. This week, I'd like to continue discussing more about chakras. But if you're new to the show or just listening for the first time, you can call in at 334-649-7204 or connect through Awaken Radio on Skype, or come to awakenradio.net and click on the live chat tab and chat with us. Now, feel free to come to the chat room and post a question, or if you've seen a symbol or a sign or recurring numbers or had a dream or other intuitive event, feel free to call in and ask us a question about that, or post it in the chat room, or any questions you have about chakras from last week. So any questions, feel free to come to the chat room and post them in there, or give us a call. Now, as usual, we have a game, in our fun, intuitive game where you try to guess what I have up on my screen. Now, I want you to use all of your senses, not just smell or sight, but all of them, and try to connect with the image that's up. And you can post your guesses up in the chat room. And I see lots of hellos, so hello everyone. And post your guesses in the chat room, or call in with a guess and see how accurate you are, or keep a log of what you think it might be, and when I finally tell you, see how accurate you were. And again, when using your intuition, don't be dismissive of anything. Have fun with it. Follow your nose, as they say, and go with the clues that you're given. Whatever comes up in your mind, record it down, see how it might have been connected to what it actually is. And in the chat room, someone's already saying that they see a big sun. And I'm not sure. Someone else says, I love Hawk's message. I'm not sure if that's a guess or not. But sun is not really part of this picture. So it's a good guess, I'll have to say, although it's not really part of the picture. Now, as I was mentioning before, I'd like to continue talking with the chakras, and I think one of the most important things to remember is intention. You might not necessarily know all of the exact positions of the chakras or the right chant or the right position to stand in if you're practicing yoga or meditating and you want to clear them out. But as long as you have the right intention of clearing them out, that's half the game right there. Just be in that energy and do your work. Now, to really work well with the chakras, I think it's important to be really connected to your intuition, to your whole body, to all your senses, and that's something that's really easy to do if you're able to find a way to settle down. So for me, that might be something like as simple as lighting a candle. So as you're ready to begin doing your work around intuition or your chakras, to light a candle and sit in front of it and look at it and just let go of the stress. And I'm getting some guesses, green, a field. And no, there's no green in the picture. And it's not a field. So as I'm saying, it's really relaxing into your body. So however you can do that and step down from the energy of the day and step into an envelope. Imagine yourself enveloping yourself with a cocoon almost, so that you're in a new space, at least at first, and ready to open to your intuition so that you can make a better guess, for instance. And that's really, you might bring your hands to your heart and take a few deep breaths and release the stress of the day and step into the part of yourself that really knows what this picture is, for instance. And I see someone's guessed a black and white photo. It is a photo. It's not about news, and it's not a brown paper bag. And thanks for the comment, Colin. I got a new microphone. Thank you very much. So, again, not being dismissive of any of the signals that you're getting. So notice any tastes that you might have in your mouth, any smells in your nose, how your body feels right now. It's not it's a color photo. In the chat room, someone guessed a black and white photo. Color photo. So just, again, if you're feeling nervous about making a guess, take a deep breath, release the stress from the day, and let it go. And sometimes to step into the energy, it might help to change your clothes, have a special place in your home just dedicated for this process. So it might be a little chair and a table where you sit down and you have a deck of tarot cards that you can shuffle if you're familiar with those, or you might have a crystal that you can hold or stare into, something that helps you really connect with your intuition. Maybe if you see a movie and somebody in there is intuitive and they have a tool that you like, you might acquire that for yourself if it's inexpensive. And I see another guess. It's an oak tree and a building or a structure. It's not a building or a structure. but it's not a tree. And I will say it is food. So that's the first hint. So finding a way to really settle down, settle in, and ritual really helps here. So it's something that can externalize the internal process. So maybe something that's even related to your family of origin. And for myself, it's just a candle. And somebody's guessing strawberries, and I'll say the next hint, it is red, it is fruit. So that's pretty close. And yes, it's a big card of apples. So anybody that guessed apples or was close to it or noticed anything about a cart or kind of a farm area or just anything about food storage or something like that, or people walking by maybe, just take that into consideration and really pay attention to that. Now, as we're really talking about our chakras tonight, we can look at that from a chakra perspective and notice the lower chakras and see how they might or might not be open and functioning to help you really tune in to the world around you. For instance, are you stuck in doubt and fear? Again, a good exercise is to sit down, let go of the doubts, let go of the fear, stress, worry, light a candle, maybe do a 5-minute meditation, and then have a book, a journal that you can record your intuitive thoughts in. And a good exercise to try is to bring your hand to your heart and then bring your hand to another chakra or another part of your body that you might think has stress or is blocked, and imagine sending love or sending energy through your hand from one hand to the other. And just try that for a moment. Bring your hand, one hand to your heart and right hand, if you're right-handed, and then bring your other hand to your third eye, middle of your forehead, and now sending love to your third eye, saying, maybe even have a saying like, I can see clearly, or whatever is appropriate for you. And imagine doing that and feeling yourself being clear, being more clear, being able to see things that you couldn't see before. And you might try that while you're trying to open to your intuition. So bring one hand to your heart, bring your other hand to your forehead, just sending love, sending white light, sending whatever you feel is appropriate for you. Maybe it's green, whatever you like. As long as the intention is to open, it should be effective. Give it a few minutes, a few seconds, whatever it takes, and let that happen. You might keep that there for a minute. Another exercise you might try, and it could really help to weave the intuition and connecting to your senses into your whole family, is to share, especially if you've learned Reiki, share with your partner, especially maybe as you're going to sleep at night. Each person bring a hand around to the other person's back, and send love, send compassion through your hands, and feel the warmth and see how that works. Maybe you'll fall asleep together. Maybe you'll spend an hour doing that, just feeling the incredible energy. Try that. And as I'm talking about settling down and creating some sort of ritual, remember it's about externalizing something that you want to create. in the outer world that's internal. So if you want to be more intuitive, bring the process out, as I was just stating with the practice, with the exercise about bringing one hand to your heart and bringing one hand to your forehead and sending energy that way. Now, we talked about the first chakra last week, so we'll go and talk about the second chakra this week. And it's really about sensuality and your connectedness to the world. And often, if you really want to develop it, some good exercise you might try is to connect with the color orange. So, and as long as your intention is to open it in an appropriate way. So maybe look at the clothes that you're wearing, the food that you're eating. So maybe it's time to eat some more squash or other orange type colored foods. So when it's out of balance, and I'll keep in mind that they're never going to be all the way closed, and there's never only one particular color, although there's a primary color. A lot of times there'll be other colors blended in that you might notice, especially if you can see auras, you'll see all different colors. So just notice what color is appropriate for you and start with orange. And someone in the chat room mentions the solar plexus. And yes, when you're dealing with anxiety, that's a lot of times where the stress that happens in our bodies occurs in pools in the solar plexus area. And we'll talk about that too. But I'd like to cover all of them. But a good exercise right there is to, again, breathe into the solar plexus and release any stress or doubt that you have there, and to start to do exercises about believing in yourself. I was going to talk about this later, but really, since it's January, you might pick a emotion or word to work with for the whole year, like joy or forgiveness or compassion, and work with that word and study it for the whole year, so that you learn more about what it means for you and how you can bring it. You're really trying to bring it into your life. So, and I've worked with compassion and joy, and what it's really is, when I work with compassion, I work with a couple different things over the years, but compassion is one of my favorites. And one of my favorite realizations is you really have to spend time working with yourself and sending compassion to yourself before you can really effectively send it out to the rest of the people in the world. Take care of yourself first, and then you can go out and heal the world, as Dalai Lama says, and many, many, many other teachers basically all say the same thing. Take care of the you that is hurting, and then you'll be able to take care of the outer world. Now, you might start with, as I was saying, forgiveness or compassion or joy, or just finding a way to express yourself through joy or any of those other, whatever you want to call them, words. But they're more than words. So pick a process and work with it for a period of time, and you'll be amazed at what you really start to discover about yourself. There's tons of great books about compassion and forgiveness. Read one and maybe find a buddy to share it with, and give that a try. But it's really going back to what I was mentioning earlier. It's finding a way to settle down and settle in and really becoming calmer and letting go of the doubt and the worry and the stress just for a moment, stepping into a calm space and letting all the chaos go for the moment. It's still there. It doesn't mean you're going to step away from it, but it won't bother you as much as you learn to have a special space in your home for intuition work. And you can even, as you develop it inside your home, you can eventually develop it for yourself, and you can take it with you. Whether you take a crystal with you in a pouch, or you take herbs or whatever you're familiar with, you can take it with you and create that special space wherever you are. It's really about opening to something deeper within you and making space for it in your life. Now, if anyone has any experience doing this, you can call in and talk about it, or if you have a dream that's kind of talking about this, about having compassion for yourself, which it could be a big issue for 2013, as I talked about before, because it's really about a lot about one of the central numerological themes. It covers having compassion for yourself and spending time with family and friends and really being able to be present with them and share with them. So anything that you can do to step out of all the chaos and really be in your life and be present really helps you to connect on a deeper level. And you might want to study the shadow, because it talks about how, for instance, unexpressed feelings, things that you don't say, really pile up in some corner, and then they tend to be like stinky fish, and eventually they cause problems. Someone says, "What's that smell? Why didn't you talk about that to me before," for instance? And so finding a way to have open communication in your relationships and really express, this is again going back to the chakras, the fifth chakra, the throat, it's really about being open in your speech. So finding a way to be honest, not hurtful, but honest, and finding a way to honestly express yourself in your relationships. And you might even be having, as I was mentioning, dreams about that. So really look at your dreams and from that vantage point and see how they might be helping you to, for instance, heal your relationships. And as I'm mentioning dreams, I'm remembering one I talked about before of my own was I saw a box, just a frozen food box, in the oven, and it was smoking, and that was it. It wasn't opened. It was just a frozen food box, and that really had me look at the food that I was eating, and I slowly got a juicer and a high-speed blender, and I started to really take in look at the nutrients in the foods and look at eating more organics. And I'm not the best when it comes to growing herbs or plants, but I'm trying to get better with that. And that's what I really looked at, how I could bring compassion in for myself over 2012 and into 2013. And I just got a little herb planter I'm going to try. I've noticed friends with, I don't know what the exact name of it is, but it's like a little plant bed, and it has a light on top, and it lets you grow all kinds of different herbs. But this one is smaller and lets me dip my toe into it so I can give it another shot, because I usually put it in the sink and then I'll run the dishwasher and it overflows or something. I forget to water them, whatever. And Colin says hydroponic planter. I guess, I'm not sure what it is. I think you just plug it in and you water them. I'm not really sure. But anyway, it's really, my key point here is really having compassion for yourself and to look at your dreams. And someone mentioned that they can't remember their dreams. And I've talked about this before. One thing to do is bring a pad and pen to bed with you and keep it right by the bed. as you're falling asleep, set an intention to remember them. And when you wake up, record whatever it is, a word or a phrase or a color or a feeling as you wake up. And over time, you'll record more and more and more. And of course, lots of people have their cell phones, so you could even use the voice recording app right in your phone and not even have to turn on the light in the bedroom to record your dreams. So that's a real great way to start to remember your dreams and record them. And of course, there's more to it than just recording the dream. It's to actually find time to work with the dream. And I can talk more about this after the break, but I'll give you some hints before we go into break about how we may work with it. So, as you're working with the dream, you might want to ask, how does it make me feel? And that's really the best place to start working with the dream. How does it make me feel? And what does it remind me about? And try to see how it connects back into your life. So for me, the dream really pointed towards, oh, look at this. The stove has this food in it, but it's not really cooking it very well. It's smoking and the box hasn't been opened. So I looked at it, well, I might have been thinking I was making a healthy choice, but really the food is probably GMO'd up to, a lot of GMOs in there, so I started to look more at organics and really look at how I might eat more healthfully. And that might be getting a steamer and getting a ricer and making sure, having fun with the food and with the juicer, throwing apples in there and lemons and really just having a lot of fun with that. So if you have a similar dream or wanted to talk about an intuitive event when we come back, remember it's 334-649-7204, or you can join us in the chat room at awakenradio.net. And what a break now, I guess.
Awakened Radio Network is the information station for awakened people who live awake, aware, alert, and create consciously. Join us in the live chat room at awakenradio.net/live chat room. Take part in our creation through our forums, chat, and calling in on our live shows. Check out our services tab at awakenradio.net. Right up under the banner, click where it says services. You can find out how to host your own show on our network. You can also find out about delivering your empowerment message to our global listeners. There's also information there on how to advertise on the Awakened Radio Network. Are you ready to host your show with the Awakened Radio Network? Our station is dedicated to helping you share your message with our global audience. Visit awakenradio.net, look under Service tab at the top of the page for more information, and you can also add Awakened Radio to your Skype contact and talk with Donna Devane about being an Awakened Radio host. Thank you for your love and support of the Awakened Radio Network. Your donations and purchases from our Awakened store help us to stay on the air and grow as we reach the globe with the message of personal empowerment. Visit us today at awakenradio.net to be part of this creation of awesomeness.
Welcome to your Unfolding Senses. I'm your host, Ragozzine, and on this show, we'll be exploring everything intuition. Let's get started. Okay, we're back. And if you'd like to join us in the chat room, come to awakenradio.net, click on the live chat tab, or you can go to the Awaken store and donate some money or buy any one of our fantastic items in there. We have dream catchers and whatnot in there that are pretty good. Or come to Skype and go through Awaken Radio or dial 334-649-7204. Or again, come to the awakenradio.net live chat tab if you have any questions. And as we're talking about the chakras, we have a quote from Leo Buscaglia, and he says, "Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around." So just connecting to how you can bring compassion to your world, and notice how practicing compassion or practicing forgiveness might help you to turn your world around. And it really helps the healing process, especially when we're talking about working with the chakras. And you might also, as I was mentioning Reiki before, learn a healing modality like that, and that would help you to really learn more about how your energy moves through your body, and really shows you a new way of working with your body in a new way. And you can even work with plants and animals too, which is really neat. And I remember when I volunteered, they wouldn't let us talk about healing per se, but I would always talk about how it helped patients in the ICU lower their blood pressure and improve their breathing rate, because the nurses all talked about how that's what happened, and their breathing improved, their heart rate improved. So right there, that's a plus. And I would always talk about how with modalities like karate, you're trying to hit various points on the body to disenable, disempower, to stop someone. Whereas with Reiki, you're trying to touch some of the same points to bring healing. So the research is out there in one way or another to help you to bring clearing and healing and improved overall body composition into your life. So as we're talking about dreams, if you have a question, you can call in and talk about one. I think another really good step to take is to turn off the phone, the TV, the radio about 2 hours before bed, and just disentangle yourself from all the electronics and make space in your life for settling into yourself, doing things, something creative, or doing something exploratory that's outside of the electronic world, outside of the normal chaos of the day, and maybe just spending time alone or with someone and talking about a dream. So fully exploring a dream you had the night before with your partner or a group, and really make space for listening. So that's really what this is about. We're trying to listen to our bodies, listen to what the senses are trying to tell us. So if you're feeling stressed, to really sit down and say, okay, how can I let go of this stress, but how can I create less of it? What do I need to do to step out of the hustle and bustle and maybe declutter? And that could be a physical decluttering, or it could be going inside, an internal decluttering, peeling back the layers and letting go of outmoded beliefs, outmoded thoughts, whatever isn't working for you now. Again, going back to maybe working with compassion for 3 to 6 months to a year, or forgiveness. With forgiveness, I know the AA programs might have you go and make actual amends with people, but you might just do it internally and see how that works. So you begin to apologize to yourself and to other people that you might have hurt in the past, even if they're not in your life anymore, just for forgiving them and seeing them go away. Not literally, but just seeing them fade away and knowing that that's helping them to heal and helping you to heal. And again, finding a way to express. So giving your voice to your words, and that way, as you're clearing out what has to be said, more words can come up. And a lot of times what I'll recommend to someone is to try singing, especially if they have a dream where they have no words. So bring words out and start to sing your favorite song or create a song and just try singing. See how that really helps to open up the fifth chakra. And the other exercises like forgiveness and compassion can really help to open up the heart chakra. Whereas maybe joy might help open up the third chakra, the second chakra, the first chakra. At least in the beginning, but as you open one, they all begin to shift and open as well. And if you haven't seen the artwork of, I think it's Alex Gray, it's really incredible. Eventually find yourself to look at some of his portraits. He really paints something that I guess he sees energetically, which is sort of the outline of a body and the way the energy flows internally. It's pretty neat. It's like you're seeing all of the nerves, but in all the electrical flow. And Thich Nhat Hanh says, when mindfulness is there, you are attentive to yourself and others around you. Understanding becomes possible and compassion flows. So you can try the mindfulness route, but really practicing compassion will get you to the same place. Really practicing joy or forgiveness really will help you to see yourself in a new light and help others to see you in a new light, and the world will shift. So again, picking the practice and working with it can really help you to settle in to your body and really connect with your intuition on a deeper level. And that starts really with making a comfortable space and finding time to explore the you that you are. And you can light music. You can light a candle. You can burn incense. Find some incense that works for you. For me, I like to use frankincense or myrrh, and they have little cones, but you might like a different scent. And they all have different properties that they're supposed to cultivate within you. Just experiment and try to see which one you like better, which resonates for you. And as long as it's helping you to calm down and relax and step out of the chaos of the day, then that's the one for you. Now, I was talking about the oven dream before. I had another dream about this beaver that you could bring up your problems to. So it was this beaver, he was in this stick house, and he had a little magic box inside his dam, and you would bring your issue to it, and the box would transform it. So you could either leave it with him, and he would take care of it, or you could take it back with you. So I looked at that as really a ritual that I could develop. So have a little box where I can put a problem in and let it transform. So it doesn't even have to be a fancy box. It could be a cardboard box or a paper box, and just write an issue down and put it in the box. And this is what I did. and just let it go. See what happens. So that's another way to work with a dream, for instance. So to create a ritual out of it. And another thing, as I'm talking about dreams, is to name it. So, and you might want to use a little humor. So I called it Leave It to Beaver, since it reminded me of the TV show and how the father always had the right answer no matter what. And it kind of laughed about that. So you can feel humor in it and still enjoy the power of the dream, and it really helps you to keep the resonance of the dream in mind as you're remembering it, and it connects you to joy at the same time, connects me to joy at the same time. So that's why I'm recommending to really look at your dreams to see what they're trying to bring you. This one was trying to tell me to find a space to, I guess, step outside of some of the issues and let them handle themselves by putting them in the magic box. And you can even take it out into the real world and actually do that. So you can actually work with the dreams out in the real world. You might even have your friends act out the parts so you can again watch the dream. And I think I've talked about this before. And in the chat room, Donna mentions she does a bowl ceremony where she pours everything into her third eye and then sits in silence. So that's a real good exercise. So you might, for instance, as you're sitting down to do some sort of intuitive reading or intuitive work or reading a dream, you might sit down and imagine putting aside like the playful child, because now it's time to be a little bit more serious. So you put the child with maybe some marbles, and the child can play while you're doing your work, for instance. And she's really connecting to her intuition. So you might also do that, something like that. And there's really no feminine or masculine aspects that to the dream work. It's really about softening. So can you soften? Can you be allowing? So that's really what the opening to your intuition is all about. It's softening and allowing the information to come to you rather than being hard and dismissive. So typically letting go of some of the masculine qualities, not saying that you have to take on the feminine qualities, but be allowing, be receptive, be open. And that's kind of what's required to step into your intuition. Yes, both qualities are important, but sometimes you'll need to be open and more receptive to really connect with what the message is. And you can really get a message anywhere. It doesn't have to be in your dreams. It could be at the grocery store. It could be in line to buy a book. It could be anywhere. All of a sudden, you'll look up at the clock and you'll see 11:11 or 1:23 or something, or someone will be behind you and they'll say something that sparks a thought. So it's really being open to receiving an intuitive message anywhere, but the process really starts with making space for it in your life. So again, not being dismissive of the messages as they come. Now, if you're familiar with Ted Andrews, he talks about animal signs. So if you see one deer, that might not be a sign. But if every time you're driving down the road, you see two deers, two does, any kind of deer, that might be a message for you. Especially the number. The number might be important. So it might be talking about how you can be in better relationship with yourself. And just consider your emotions, your guidance system. So how are you being guided? How do you feel? How does something make you feel? And just to notice it. And really letting go. I think the masculine is where a lot of the book smarts, well, I guess it could be wrong for saying that, but the hard edge, the book smarts where it's all technical and this is how it works, let that go. Let go of the idea that it has to be some way. I think that's the most important concept here, is to let the idea that it has to be one way, that it has to come to you by someone telling you that you're going to win $1 million tomorrow, knocking on your door. Oh, you're going to win $1 million tomorrow. No, it might not be easy. And really, I think that's the second important thing, is working with your intuition is ongoing. It's not all of a sudden I'm open to it and now I understand all the messages that come to me. No, you might have to work at a dream for a while, or you might have to work with the message, what it's trying to tell you. Like with my food dream, I understood what it meant, but I didn't understand where it was going to take me right away. So it's really taken me to explore tastes and food kind of in a newer way, and explore a lot of cooking devices that are pretty neat that I might not have thought about getting. And someone mentions that they just had a conversation about animal totems with a friend, and that's really great. And for me, the totems really led me to a study of shamanism and really a deeper understanding of what the totems mean just for myself, rather than relying on someone in a book telling me what they meant. So I used that interest that was really pulling me. I had that interest in my heart to really explore the learning and to go deeper into what it meant for me. And I can still read the books, but I can go in and do a journey and learn about what the animal might mean or the plant might mean for me. So, again, finding ways to explore and really pursuing your interests and not being dismissive. And right now I'm feeling called to work with herbs. So, and I know they're delicate, but I'm trying to really learn more about them and how I might use them. So maybe just starting to use them in juicing, but eventually in oils and other things like that, to infuse it, cook with it. I don't know how you might be exploring with them, but again, following your heart and really working with it in that way. So I guess the really big thing here is, I keep saying it, but don't be dismissive and find a way to record your intuitive hits. If you're out and about, it's best to have a journal or your phone and just record an idea that comes to mind or a feeling, because you'll forget about it and then you'll say, what was I thinking about? I know it was important, so record it. Same thing with your dream work. And then see if there's a correlation between that and something in your life. And I think the next part of ritual, or opening space for intuition that's important, is to find a way to close and step out of that space. It might not be appropriate to always be in that space all the time, and it's important to let that go and step back into your normal everyday life. So if you light a candle to start the process, blow it out, maybe smudge yourself, turn back the lights on, turn the TV on, or whatever it is that you do to have fun, maybe turn the radio on, or maybe take a shower first to clear out that energy. Let that energy go. It had its purpose. It helps you to open up to realization, or helps you to feel something in your body. So find a way to let go of the process and step back into your life, but also to make sure to have a space for it. But also, it's about balance, so having a space for the rest of your life. So you might try a shower, a bath, a walk in the rain, and some of this might be helpful. If you're working with a partner, it might be helpful in opening the second chakra. So walk outside, walk barefoot. A light protein snack might be a good idea. Blowing out the candle together and putting away or putting your special objects in a special place. So if you made space for the adult or the child to step away, to bring that part back in, and to again step back into your life. But really, that's really just part of closing. And then you, as I was mentioning before, as you have your table and your chair, or maybe even a whole room or a special place in one room, just to have that, so as you walk by, you're reminded about connecting to your body, connecting to your intuition, connecting to your dreams, and being open to the messages that can come from anywhere, really. Can come from an ad, a license plate. I've seen tons of plates with animal names on them. At Easter one year, I actually saw a gentleman walk down the road with a cross. And that was a real powerful sign. And I saw more than once. And I eventually found other people that noticed it. And it was a real interesting occurrence. And I never met him, but I'd like to know what he was thinking about in his process. So you might see it on license plates, or you might see an actual person doing something like that that's way out of the ordinary, typically, or wordplay, or jingles, or songs, or shows, or movies. You'll never really watch a movie or a TV show the same again once you're open to your intuition and look for the signs or symbols right in there. So rather than just watching it one-dimensionally, really look for your messages within the movies. Now, it really boils down to making choices. So sometimes your intuition can really help you in a snap, sort of like you're in a live let's make a deal scene. So behind one door, you got your goat, and behind the other door you have your Cadillac Capri supercar. And it's up to you to open the door that you want. Some people, like Chris, might want that goat, but a lot of people might want that car. So really being open to when the intuitive event happens, to be able to strike quickly and make a decision. Now, not all choices will be that quick, but sometimes you're faced with that kind of deal. And it's free will, so you can open either door. And every door isn't, a car or a goat, but it boils down to that. So, as we're talking about our chakras again, meditation also can help, and exercise. It's really about connecting with your body. And in the chat room, someone says there's always two choices, the right one and the one that is right in helping you make the right choice the next time. Well, yes, I guess that could be true. It's really just being open to which one can really be best for you, and I guess you can set the intention to say, allow me to make the choice that's right for me at this time. So one day, choice A might be right for you, but the next day, you might have gone through some sort of transition where B is the right choice. So it's really being connected to yourself and knowing what's right for you in the moment. So for a long time, maybe moving to a new city or state might be the right choice, but after you've done some clearing work, it might no longer be the right choice for you. It all depends on where you're at and what you've helped to shift and move and heal. And as we're coming to a close this week, I'd like to leave you with some questions so that we didn't really get to really delve more into the chakras, but these will help you to really think more about it. So one is, what makes me feel safe is, so fill that in, and notice when you're thinking about that, how you feel it in your body. I think someone mentioned they felt it in their solar plexus, and I've mentioned that's where I feel it often as well, especially when I'm doing readings for people. Feel a lot of their anxiety right there. And then what makes me feel anxiety is, notice those two questions. Notice how you feel safe. Notice when you feel anxiety. And maybe creating a ritual can help you to really help work with that, those feelings, and help the feeling of safety and comfort to increase and the feeling of anxiety to decrease. So maybe breath work, maybe meditation, maybe working with a dream that really talks about the compassion, bringing compassion and into your life, maybe doing some healing work through Reiki or shamanism or whatever your modality of choice is, maybe finding a support group and finding some way to bring more support into your life. Now, as the show's ending, I'd like to remind everyone to come, if you're so inclined, to click on the donate button that's at the top of every page and at awakenradio.net if you're so inclined, and it helps keep us on the air in many different ways. And you can contact me at Numbers by Rob on Twitter or Intuition by Rob on Twitter, where I tweet about intuition and this show, and I post what the topic is going to be for the week and post links to my Facebook fan page for the show. So you can follow me there, Intuition by Rob. And I'm developing a website for it too. And Numbers by Rob, where I primarily tweet about health and healing and numerology. So follow me there. And if you have a dream question, you can tweet me or email me, and I'll help you to work with it. Or we can talk about it on air. We've talked with some people about different dreams, and sometimes it helps to talk with someone to really see things that you can't see without someone else looking at it, shining a light on it. And you can contact me at contactrob@simplynumbers.com, or go to my blog at blog.simplynumbers.com and follow me. You can join my newsletter, and again, I put out what I might be talking about in the coming month in the newsletter, and I think I mentioned everything except my book on Amazon is called Your Life Counts, and it's about working with your life path number and some of the stuff that I've been talking about tonight about following your emotions and finding how you're best fit into a situation when you're happy and whole. And that's available on Amazon as a Kindle book. And thanks for joining me tonight. And again, thank you for joining me, and bring a dream next week if you're so inclined.
Cause we're awakened, you won't catch us sleeping through the fight in life. We're all eyes open, showing our inside and light so bright. We are awakened, come and join our love, it's so right. If you could feel what we feel now, you'd be a leader filled with might. Cause we're awakened.